Have you ever sat there staring at your phone, wondering if she's missing you the same way you're missing her? Have you asked yourself, what if she's also doing no contact with me? That thought alone can feel like a storm in your chest. It makes your heart race, your mind spin, and suddenly every memory of her, every laugh, every fight, every moment feels like it's haunting you. But here's the truth, this moment, this silence, could be the single most important test of your life. And if you handle it the right way, it might just change not only your love story, but your life. So stay with me till the very end, because I'm about to share something that can completely transform how you deal with heartbreak, silence, and the terrifying possibility that she's not reaching out either. Before we begin, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and like this video if you believe your story deserves a new chapter. And trust me, watch this video till the end, because what I'm going to share may completely reshape how you think about love, loss, and what's next for you. Point 1, the power of silence. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever sat in your room late at night, holding your phone in your hand, your thumb hovering over her name, fighting with yourself whether to send that one message? Maybe it's just, hey, how are you? Maybe it's, I miss you. And yet you stop. You put the phone down, and suddenly the silence feels like it's screaming at you. That silence, it hurts, doesn't it? It feels like punishment, like she took away not just her presence, but also your sense of peace. The funny thing is, the silence between you is not empty. It's heavy, it's alive. It's full of every unsaid word and every unspoken memory. Think about it. Do you remember the last time she laughed so hard she leaned into you? Or the way her eyes softened when she looked at you like you were her safe place? Now compare that to the silence you're living in today. It feels like two different worlds, right? And that's why the pain is so sharp, because silence reminds you of what you lost. But here's the truth you need to hear. Silence is not your enemy. Silence is your teacher. When you stay silent, you learn discipline. You learn to control the storm inside you. And if she's also doing no contact, this becomes a test of who can hold their ground, who can resist the temptation to break first. Now, let me ask you, how many times have you broken silence in the past and regretted it? How many times did you send that late-night text, only to wake up in the morning feeling weaker, smaller, less respected? That's because breaking silence out of desperation never gives you peace. It just gives you a temporary relief, followed by regret. But when you hold your silence, something powerful happens. You force her to feel the absence. You give her space to wonder, why isn't he reaching out? Does he not care anymore? Is he moving on? And suddenly, the silence that once punished you becomes the silence that works in your favor. I know you're hurting. I know your heart feels like it's carrying 1,000 bricks. Maybe you're replaying the breakup again and again, asking yourself, could I have done something different? Did I push her away? Is she gone forever? But let me remind you of this. Every time you resist the urge to break silence, you are rewriting your love story. This is not about her right now, it's about you. About whether you can sit with your pain long enough to let it shape you into someone stronger. About whether you can remember the good memories without letting them chain you to the past. About whether you can turn heartbreak into growth instead of desperation. So the next time you feel the weight of silence, don't see it as emptiness. See it as proof that you are stronger than your impulses. See it as the soil where your strength is growing, where your future self is being built. And remember this, if she's also doing no contact, then silence isn't just a wall between you, it's a battlefield. And the one who keeps calm, who stays patient, who learns from the silence, that's the one who wins. Point 2, memory versus reality. Be honest with me for a second. When you miss her, what is it that you're actually missing? Is it really her, the real person with all her flaws? Or is it the idea of her that lives inside your head? You see, after a breakup, our minds play a cruel trick on us. It's like your brain becomes an editor of a movie. It cuts out all the arguments, the disappointments, the moments you felt ignored, and instead, it plays the highlight reel on repeat. Do you know what I mean? That song you two shared suddenly feels like it was written about your love. That cafe you once went to now feels like a shrine to your relationship. And before you know it, you're not missing her. You're missing the dream, the version of her your heart created. Think about it. Do you remember the first time she made you laugh so hard you thought, she gets me in a way no one else does? Or the way she held your hand when life was heavy on your shoulders? Those moments, they're beautiful, but they're also memories. They're not happening right now. They live in your past, but your heart is dragging them into your present, keeping you chained to something that doesn't exist anymore. Now here's the painful part. When she's also doing no contact, she's probably watching her own version of that movie. She remembers the good, then the bad, then the good again. It's like you're both sitting in two different theaters, watching two different films, and yet you think you're remembering the same story. But reality is different. Reality is that not every laugh was joy, and not every memory was as perfect as you've polished it in your mind. Remember the nights you went to bed angry? Remember the times you felt alone even when she was right there? Those were real too. So let me ask you this. If she walked back into your life today, would things really be different? Or would you press play on the same cycle of happiness? Arguments and silence? That's the trap of memory. It makes you believe the dream is still alive, when in reality it ended for a reason. And I know, brother, it hurts. It hurts to let go of the good times, because they feel like a treasure you don't want to lose. But clinging to them is like holding on to smoke. It slips through your fingers, no matter how hard you try to keep it. Here's what Stoicism teaches. Reality is always more powerful than memory. You cannot live in the past. You cannot fall in love with a ghost. What you can do is face the truth that right now she's not here. Right now your story is not about her anymore. It's about you. So the next time your mind replays that highlight reel, stop and remind yourself, this is a memory, not my reality. Because the sooner you separate the dream from the truth, the sooner you'll stop bleeding over someone who isn't in your present anymore. Point 3, who breaks first? Let me ask you a raw question. How many times have you sat there, phone in hand, staring at her name, wondering, should I just text her first? You convince yourself with excuses. It's just to check in, or I'll just send a funny meme. But deep inside, you know what's really happening. You're about to break. And in this silent game, that's the most dangerous move. Because in no contact, the one who breaks first often loses. Now don't get me wrong, I know the pull is strong. I know the loneliness can be unbearable. Maybe you're lying awake at 2 a.m., remembering the night she would call just to say, I can't sleep without hearing your voice. And now, all you hear is silence. That silence eats at you until your heart feels heavier than your chest can carry. But here's the twist. She might be feeling the exact same way. She might be lying in her room, phone on her pillow, scrolling through your old photos, fighting the urge to reach out. And both of you are locked in this silent standoff, waiting to see who will give in first. Here's where Stoicism comes in. Strength is not proven when life is easy. Strength is proven when every part of you wants to act, but you choose restraint. The one who holds silence longer is not cold-hearted. They're disciplined. But let me be honest with you, breaking first doesn't just mean sending a text. It means giving away your power. Because the moment you send that message, she knows you couldn't handle the silence. She knows she only has to stay still and you'll come running back. And deep down, what does that say? That you're still chasing, that you're still desperate, that you haven't healed. Think back to the breakup. Wasn't part of the pain feeling like you gave too much? Like you loved harder, begged harder while she pulled away? Do you really want to replay that same script? Instead, imagine the opposite. Imagine she's waiting, thinking, any day now, he'll text me. And when you don't, when you stay strong, when you choose silence, the power shifts. Suddenly, she's the one asking, why hasn't he reached out? Did I lose him? Has he moved on? And that's when silence becomes your ally. This isn't about manipulation, it's about respect. Respect for yourself. Respect for your own heart. Because if she truly values you, she will come back on her own. And if she doesn't, then silence has given you the answer you needed all along. So let me ask you, when that urge to break no contact hits, will you be the man who caves in, or the man who proves he can endure? Because the truth is, the one who breaks first loses, not just the game of no contact, but a piece of their own self-respect. Hold the silence, brother. Let her wonder. Let her feel the absence. And let this be the moment you finally realize you are stronger than your impulses. Point 4, rebuilding yourself. Let me ask you a serious question. Since the breakup, how much of your time has been spent staring at your phone, waiting for her message instead of staring at your own reflection and asking, who do I want to become now? I know the silence hurts. I know every song, every street, every corner of your city reminds you of her. Maybe you passed that little cafe where you two once shared coffee and laughed. like the world didn't exist. And now, sitting alone, you feel like that laughter is haunting you. That pain, it's real. I won't lie and say it's easy to carry. But here's the truth, this pain is also your opportunity. You see, no contact is not just about her. It's about you. Too many men waste these days like prisoners scratching tallies on the wall. Day 10, day 20, day 30. But the real question is, what are you doing with these days? Are you just waiting for her to return, or are you rebuilding the man she lost? Because here's the secret. The man who rebuilds himself is the man who no longer needs her to feel whole. And ironically, that's the man she can't forget. Think about it. Before you met her, you had dreams, didn't you? Maybe you wanted to get fit, start a business, travel somewhere new, or simply become more confident in who you are. But then love came in, and slowly pieces of your identity started to orbit around her. And when she left, it felt like your world collapsed. But that world is waiting to be rebuilt, brick by brick, habit by habit, day by day. So here's what I want you to do. Take that pain and turn it into fuel. Go to the gym, not to make her jealous, but to remind yourself that you're capable of growth. Read books that challenge your thinking, not because she'll admire your mind, but because you'll admire your own. Call your friends, spend time with family, not to prove you're okay, but to actually be okay. Every rep, every page, every laugh you share without her, it's a brick in the new foundation of your life. And the beautiful part? Once you start rebuilding, you'll realize something shocking. You don't miss her as much as you thought. Because slowly, piece by piece, you're falling back in love with yourself. Yes, memories will still come. You'll still feel that ache when you hear your song or stumble across an old photo. But instead of letting it break you, let it remind you, that chapter was part of my story, but it's not the whole book. So let me ask you now, are you going to sit in the rubble of what broke? Or are you going to rise and rebuild something stronger? Because the truth is, rebuilding yourself isn't just the best revenge, it's the best healing. And one day, whether she comes back or not, you'll look in the mirror and realize the silence gave you the greatest gift. You found you again. Point 5, the test of true love. Let me ask you a question that might sting. If she truly loved you, would silence have the power to break your bond? Think about that for a moment. True love isn't fragile. True love doesn't vanish overnight because of an argument or a breakup. True love isn't erased by distance or by weeks of no contact. If what you had was real, then even in this silence, even in this heartbreak, the connection should still whisper between you both. But here's the part no one tells you. Not every love is true love. Sometimes what we call love is just attachment. Sometimes it's comfort. Sometimes it's the fear of being alone disguised as passion. And when the silence comes, that's when the truth reveals itself. So let's make it personal. Do you remember the first time you looked into her eyes and felt like, this is it, she's the one? Or the night you held her close after a fight and thought, no matter what, we'll get through anything? Those memories, they felt eternal, didn't they? But then why are you here now? Listening to this, broken and heart-aching, wondering if she's even thinking about you. That's the test. This no contact phase, it's not just a strategy. It's not just about who texts who first. It's the battlefield where true love either survives or dies. If she truly loved you, she will feel the silence pressing against her chest the same way you do. She will fight with herself at night, debating whether to reach out. She'll wonder, what if I lose him forever because I stayed quiet? And eventually, true love will push her to act. But if she doesn't, if the silence stretches and she never returns, that's not your failure. That's simply the truth revealing itself. It means what you had wasn't strong enough to survive. Painful, yes, but freeing too. Because it shows you that you were holding on to something fragile, something that couldn't withstand the storms of life. Here's the beauty though, you can't lose true love. If it's truly yours, it will find its way back. Maybe not today, maybe not in the way you expect. But real love cannot be erased by pride, distance, or silence. So stop asking, what if she never calls? Instead ask, if she doesn't, what does that say about the love we shared? Because love that disappears in silence was never the kind that lasts a lifetime. And here's where Stoicism saves you. Either way, you win. If she comes back, you'll know it wasn't because you begged or chased, it was because she realized she couldn't let you go. And if she doesn't come back, you'll know you didn't lose love. You just lost an illusion. So let me ask you one last time. Are you brave enough to let silence be the test? Because sometimes the only way to know if love was real is to see if it can survive the storm of no words at all. Point 6, moving beyond the outcome. Let me ask you something that might shake you a little. What if the outcome doesn't even matter? I know right now. All your thoughts are wrapped around one thing. Will she come back? Will she call me? Will she finally realize what she lost? And I get it. That question eats you alive every single day. You wake up hoping for a notification. You go to sleep replaying the what ifs, and deep inside you believe that your happiness depends on her return. But let me tell you the truth, most men never realize until it's too late. Your life is not defined by whether she comes back or not. Think about it. If she calls tomorrow and says, "I miss you, let's try again," will it erase the pain you've been through? Or will you carry that fear wondering, what if she leaves again? What if silence comes back? And if she never calls? If weeks turn into months and the silence stays unbroken? Does that mean your story ends here? No, it means your story begins somewhere new. Here's the thing. No contact isn't really about her. It's about you learning to live without depending on someone else's validation. It's about realizing that love is beautiful, but love isn't supposed to be your oxygen. You were breathing long before her. You'll keep breathing long after. Let me take you back. Do you remember your first heartbreak before her? The one you swore you'd never recover from? And yet here you are. You healed, you grew, and you found love again. That's proof, my friend, that no matter what happens now, you will survive this too. Moving beyond the outcome means this. You stop waiting by the phone and start living your life again. You stop asking, will she come back? And start asking, what kind of man do I want to be if she doesn't? Imagine this, you've rebuilt yourself. You've grown stronger, wiser, calmer. You've found peace in your own company. And then one day, whether she calls or not, you'll realize something incredible. You don't need the outcome anymore, because you've already won. If she comes back, she'll find a man who is no longer desperate but complete. And if she doesn't, you'll walk forward with dignity, knowing you gave silence its chance and used the time to find yourself again. This is the deepest lesson of Stoicism, that happiness is not tied to circumstances, but to your ability to master yourself. Whether love stays or love leaves, your peace, your purpose, your strength, they are yours to keep. So let me ask you right now, are you brave enough to stop chasing the outcome? Are you ready to stop begging life for answers and instead create your own? Because the truth is, the moment you stop needing her return is the moment you truly move on. And when you reach that point, my brother, silence won't scare you anymore. It will set you free. Conclusion. So if she's also doing no contact, let her. Let the silence do its work. Let time reveal the truth. And in the meantime, build yourself into the man you were always meant to be. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.